Is the BMI or body mass index even an accurate way to measure obesity? Find out today on Strength and Health for Life. Hello! Welcome to yet another amazing day of our wellness journey together. Before we begin, we ask that you smash that like button down below, subscribe to this channel, click the notification bell to receive all alerts, and watch the video all the way through. Also, if there are any topics that you'd like to see in this channel, please leave your suggestions in the comment section below. By the way, does your job just suck the life out of you and consume all of your free time that you wish you could use to do the things that you want to do? I think we all feel that way sometimes. So if you'd like to make a few extra $100 from home working your own online business so that you can get rid of that soul-sucking job, then take action now and click the first link in the description to learn how. So today's topic is one topic, but it's still going to go under the health and wellness myths. But instead of it being about the multitude of different things, it'll be about just the body mass index. Currently, the body mass index is what's used by most medical professionals to determine whether someone's obese or not. But there's an increasing number of logical thinkers that believe that this particular measurement is not accurate and that there are way more accurate ways to do this. So without further ado, and for your viewing pleasure, I bring to you 5 reasons why the BMI is bad. Number 1, the inventor of the BMI himself stated that it should not be used to determine obesity. Lambert Adolphe Jacques Quetelet was the French mathematician who invented the BMI. This man had no real specialty in the limited knowledge about the human body that we had at the time. This was essentially done about 200 years ago at least, and we knew very little about the human body compared to what we know about today. And even at the time, he himself had stated not to use the BMI formula to determine whether someone's obese or not. And the reason stated is because he wasn't a specialist in whatever the limited information we had about the human body was at the time. So this is definitely an instance when the creator himself said that the number was not accurate and it shouldn't be used, but for some reason medical science continues to use the BMI to this day. Well, that seems kind of stupid. Yes it does. Number 2, it's physiologically wrong. The BMI only requires your weight and your height to determine your number. But the reason why this is not accurate is because it doesn't take into account how the human body works and the many other variables that contribute to your body weight. As an example, it doesn't take into account your bone density or the structure of your skeletal system. It also doesn't take into account a couple other things, which we'll get into one of those in just a little bit. But see, when you're calculating someone's body fat percent, but you're not taking into account the bone density or skeletal structure, it's impossible to get a truly accurate measurement because you're still using their full body weight as the calculation. See, for it to even come close to being accurate, you would have to remove the total weight of your skeletal system. This would be relatively impossible since nearly everyone's skeletal system is different. Especially those with bigger frames will end up weighing more. So this just adds one extra layer of inaccuracy to the calculation and why it shouldn't be used for calculating whether someone's obese or not. Number 3, it gets logic all wrong. Apparently, Lambert was not a specialist in logic. And yes, there is a school of math that's based in logic. That's where you get logical proofs from. Let me give you a brief example. So say someone brought you an airplane, and you would safely assume that the airplane has wings. A correct logical statement would be that if it's an airplane, then it has wings. But what if it's broken? Oh, stop with semantics! I'm just going with basics. We're not going to include it as an airplane if it doesn't have wings. Now you're just being silly. However, an incorrect statement would be, if it has wings, then it's an airplane. Because an airplane isn't the only thing that has wings. You have birds, they have wings. In fact, some buildings have wings if you're talking about going to the west wing of a building or the north wing of a building. But that's what makes it an illogical statement. Just because if it's an airplane, that means it has wings, it does not mean that if it has wings, then it's an airplane. And that's where the BMI is wrong as well. The true statement that it does have is that if you're overweight or obese, then you'll have a high BMI. The improper logic that it uses is that if you have a high BMI, that means you're overweight. Because that's not necessarily true. You may ask why that is, and so I'll tell you why. The reason that statement is not true is because of the next reason. Number 4, the BMI assumes low muscle mass. See, because people today and during the time that the BMI was created, most people live fairly sedentary lives. This, in fact, leads to a large portion of the population having undersized or small muscles. But there is a significant population that has been growing, especially recently, that it fails to take into account. It would label these individuals as overweight or obese even though they're not. And that would be people with large muscle masses with big frames and low fat content. These individuals are not obese, but simply because their body weight is high, because muscle is more dense than fat by a large portion, then it would still label them as obese. This is because it only takes into account your body weight and your height. But as stated before, you can't just take those into account. It doesn't take into account either bone density or muscle density into its calculations. And so the more muscle you have, which is more dense than fat, the heavier you're going to be and the higher your BMI rating is going to be as well. You could theoretically be someone with 10% body fat and large muscles and it would still be calculated as you being obese for your height. And since this is the standard by which modern medicine calculates whether someone's obese or not, then it's very possible that the United States has a lower obesity rate than our current number suggests. So why doesn't somebody use anything else? Well, I'll tell you why right now. Number 5, it prevents doctors from using any other thing in order to determine proper obesity levels. There are much more accurate and empirical ways to determine whether someone is obese or not. But the reason why doctors don't use it is currently the health industry is hooked on using the BMI. And the problem is that they continue to use it even though it's very likely that it's inaccurate. There may be a large significant portion of the general population that's being labeled as obese that's not really obese. And those that are obese or overweight may not be as overweight or obese as they seem to be. Therefore, it's also giving us an inaccurate picture about how bad obesity is in this country. Now, the other ways are a little more expensive and a little more difficult to do, but isn't that what we pay doctors for? I'd like to hear from you what your opinion is on all of that. I mean, do we not pay medical professionals to be as accurate as possible, or do we just accept that they're going to use this absolutely inaccurate way to determine the obesity levels for our country? Like I said, leave a comment in the comment section and let me know. Luckily, measuring your BMI is not one of the keys to weight loss success. In fact, there's one key to any kind of success, whether it's weight loss, weight gain, financial success, or even relationships. That key is having someone to talk to help keep you motivated and accountable, and to be there for you as emotional support through the inevitable difficult times that you'll encounter when you do any kind of a journey. So if you're looking for a weight loss community to help keep you motivated and accountable, or maybe you just need someone to be there for you along your weight loss journey, then please follow us on Facebook and join our Facebook group. Those links are at the bottom of the description. And once again, if you've enjoyed this video, please smash the like button and subscribe to this channel. And if you don't mind, maybe even share it with some of your friends and help us grow a little bit larger. With all that said, stay safe, stay healthy, stay hydrated, and I'll see you in the next video.